sign name, with my sign language interpreter doing the voicing, Tobias Omondi. Thank you for joining me, and on to our news. On our first news item, President William Samoei Ruto has warned that enough is enough following the deadly Saba Saba demonstrations that left at least 32 people dead across the country. Speaking in Nairobi on Wednesday, the president claimed that the ongoing protests were part of a broader scheme by the opposition to topple his government. Although he did not mention individuals, the president said that his administration will pursue those allegedly behind the attempted coup. In warning, the head of state also directed the police to shoot protesters in the leg if they were found destroying or looting property during the demonstrations. His remarks come just 2 days after nationwide protests rocked major towns, with human rights groups raising alarm over the excessive use of force by the police and the rising cases of civilian casualties during the protests.
Wanasema ati sasa hawatangojea 2027 ati tupige kura, ati wanataka kupanga fujo, ati wapange maandamano, ati wachome mali ya watu, ati walete maafa Kenya, ati ndio wapindue serikali ya Kenya kabla ya 2027. Mimi nataka niwaambie wajaribu, watajua hawajui. Kenya ni nchi ya demokrasia. Hamuwezi kutuambia ya kwamba mnaweza kupanga fujo ati mpindue serikali ya Kenya. Tafuteni vizuri. Hii fujo yote wananiletea, mbona hawakuletea Kibaki? Mbona hawakuletea Uhuru? Mimi nimenyamaza, mimi nimewavumilia, lakini mahali imefika. Enough is enough. You can call me whatever names you want to call me, but I will make sure that there is peace and stability in Kenya by all means possible. Sio kama tunaelewana my friends. Hapana. Hii kuchoma mali ya wananchi itakoma. Watachukuliwa hatua ya sheria na wote watafungwa. Na wao viongozi wao, we are coming after you. You cannot sponsor violence in the Republic of Kenya and expect to go scot-free. This country will not be destroyed by a few people who are impatient and who want to have a change of government using unconstitutional means. It is not going to happen. Mtu ambaye anachukua moto, anaenda kuchoma biashara ya mtu, anaenda kuchoma mali ya watu wengine. Mtu kama huyo apigwe risasi miguu, aende hospitali, akienda kotini. Yes. Yeah. Wasimuue lakini wapige hii miguu ivunjike ndio aende kotini, aende hospitali, akienda kotini. Those who attack our police, those who attack our security men and women, those who attack our security installations, including police stations, that is a declaration of war. That is.
Still with the president, President William Ruto on Wednesday launched President William Ruto on Wednesday launched a scathing attack on the judiciary following a court ruling that barred Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja from erecting roadblocks during public protests. The president questioned the rationale behind the decision made by High Court Judge Lawrence Mugambi, arguing that it fails to consider the real threat that is posed by looters during demonstrations. Justice Mugambi had earlier ruled that the erection of roadblocks on key entry points into the Nairobi Central Business District was unconstitutional. He also declared the use of force to deter protesters as unlawful, asserting that it violates constitutional freedoms such as the right to peaceful assembly.
amesema ati Inspector General ya Police asiweke roadblock, ati asitumie tear gas, asitumie water cannon kuprotect mali na maisha ya Wakenya wengine. Na huyo mwenye anasema hiyo, kwake kuna askari wanamchunga, kwa gari yake iko askari anamwendesha. There is a reason why there is a roadblock. There is a reason why police have tear gas. There is a reason why water cannons are there. They are supposed to be used to protect the lives and property of other Kenyans when they are in danger.
Moving on to other news, the Inter-Religious Council has called for the urgent establishment of a judicial commission of inquiry to investigate the rising numbers of deaths that are linked to the ongoing anti-government protests that have persisted since last year. Comprising religious leaders from across the country, the Council has also offered to act as mediators between the government and Gen Z-led protesters in a bid to restore peace, foster dialogue, and to ensure long-term national stability. Meanwhile, the Federation of Women Lawyers, that's FIDA, has raised alarm over the surge in sexual violence, particularly against women during the ongoing demonstrations. The organization reports increasing cases of sexual assault, urging authorities to take swift action to protect the rights and safety of women during the public protests.
Created by all the Chapter 6 commissions to rise up and take necessary action on all persons who are abusing power and misusing security personnel to further their political interests. Led by His Excellency, our President, Dr. William Ruto, can and must restore public trust by ensuring that senior state perpetrators of violence and financial scandals face the law through meaningful prosecutions.
The fact that I don't take part in the protests and you lose a daughter, you lose a son, you lose a father, you lose a mother, it is very worrying. You lose a child in the comfort of your home, in the sanctity of our homes. And that is why we are calling upon the President. Mr. President, something is wrong. Don't shy away from addressing what is wrong.
We have been documenting at every instance what action we are taking. That does not limit us to seeking legal redress. We'll be looking at ensuring that the families of those who lost their loved ones have gotten justice.
Moving on, the Kenya Power and Lightning Company, that's KPLC, came under fire on Wednesday as members of parliament demanded answers over the continued rise of electricity prices across the country. Appearing before the National Assembly's Public Investments Committee, officials from the utility firm were grilled over the company's financial books spanning from 2018 to 2023. Legislators raised concerns about the high cost of power, which continues to burden millions of Kenyan households and their businesses. In response, KPLC, led by CEO Joseph Siror, clarified that the electricity tariffs are set by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, that's EPRA, and not the company itself. Siror emphasized that while tariff setting is outside KPLC's jurisdiction, the company is actively working to reduce system losses and enhance operational efficiency, efforts, he said, could help ease power costs over time. The session comes amid growing public outrage and economic pressure tied to high utility bills, with lawmakers calling for greater transparency and accountability within the energy sector.
Money on this electricity, and one of the suspects is these power purchase agreement people that might have decided to load their profits on the people of Kenya, which is not acceptable.
The cheapest geothermal in the country is actually private, that is Socian. So I think it's all an issue of a factor of time. The older PPAs are the ones which were more expensive. And the reasons, of course, the issue of technology and all that. But without really delving into the issue of capacity payments, the main rationale of that is return on the equity. When you look at power projects, they're actually quite expensive. Geothermal, to sink 1 megawatt, you actually spend $6 million. So that when somebody, or rather when even a financier is agreeing to finance, he needs to have guarantee that he'll actually be able to recoup those resources. And that is actually what.
And finally, police officers in Nyamira County have launched investigations into the torching of Itibo police station in Nyamira town following violent protests. The incident occurred after a 19-year-old boy was allegedly shot by police officers while participating in demonstrations over the poor state of roads in the area. Enraged by the shooting, a group of protesters is reported to have stormed the station, setting it on fire. Authorities say that the fire destroyed property worth millions of shillings, including the station's occurrence book and critical equipment. The family of the deceased boy now appealing to the government for justice and compensation, blaming the police for using excessive force during the protest. And with that story, we come to the end of the news. We'll be back after this break with the sports news.